Going home. Turns out LeBron James, according to Sports Illustrated, has decided to go back to Cleveland, going home to the place where they burned him in effigy after he left for Miami. I guess 2 of those championships maybe wasn't enough. Maybe being with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade wasn't fun enough. Whatever it is, forgiveness is the name of the game today, it turns out. People in Cleveland, probably all over Ohio, probably going bananas right about now. And maybe forgiveness really is big for them, because having King James come back to their community, hopefully helping them to bring them a championship. I want to bring in Martin Savage, who is dispatched to Cleveland for this very purpose, knowing full well this could end up being a lead story. So, Martin, take it from there.
Oh, I knew this all along, Ashley. You know, I just had to keep it to myself. But I think as a Clevelander, there was never any doubt. Let's face it. No, I'm standing outside of the Q, which is, of course, now the new home to LeBron James. And the news is only just now starting to filter out. You know, it's the noontime crowd, so people are really just a couple of streets away. But you're already starting to hear some horns honking. Sports radio is just starting to get out. So word is really just sort of sinking in yet. We're anticipating that, you know, there are going to be crowds showing up at LeBron's home down there in the Akron area. There are going to be crowds, of course, showing up at the Q. They are just going to be thrilled because it's been quite a remarkable week for the city of Cleveland.
So do you know about this, Martin? Do you know about this Sports Illustrated piece that he wrote, according to, it's by LeBron James, but it's as told to Lee Jenkins in Sports Illustrated, where he actually makes his announcement in a multi-page letter before anyone ever cared where I would play basketball. I was a kid from Northeast Ohio. He goes on and on, waxing poetic about Ohio and how he's saying, I'm coming home.
Yeah, and then, you know, I've heard it. They're actually reading it on the radio right now. So that's why I think a lot of people are still sort of absorbing it, because that letter is quite philosophical. And it gets to the point that many Clevelanders have felt. They know they love their city. They also know it's a great place to raise a family. I know that because I did that here. And so that is really what apparently resonated the most with LeBron James at this time. Of course it's a team. Of course it's a championship. But it's family. And that's what people in Northeast Ohio would say. That is what it's all about.
Okay, folks,
and
come back
really,
on camera for a
hear
second.
that explanation.
I just want to hold this up. This is the picture in the Sports Illustrated article, a letter, dictated letter from LeBron James. You can see it pretty clearly. It's a picture of LeBron with a very telling caption saying, I'm coming home. Rachel Nichols, are you on the line? Host of, hold on one second. I think our host of Unguarded. Spill it, lady. How did this whole thing get written? Sports Illustrated, the news didn't get up for now.
Okay, how does this whole thing?
Yeah.
I didn't hear your question, Ash.
Well, I'm looking at this big sort of in-depth letter that was written with the help of Sports Illustrated, and it's being posted. Nothing leaked? Nothing got out before now?
Well, this is a very carefully orchestrated, free agency period. I spoke to LeBron a lot about how he was going to handle this week, these last couple weeks, and he said that he learned from his mistakes last time, that he wanted to take some time to consider all options, that there wasn't going to be a lot of leaks from the camp or a lot of different things people would say, that he wanted to keep it all close to the vest with him. He wanted to take the time to consider what was best for him and his family. And in the end, as you saw in that letter, and as we've heard him say at times over the past few years, he has such strong ties to his home. He has such strong ties to the community of Akron. He married his high school sweetheart. They still live there in the off season. His mom still lives there. So this is important to him. And the big questions that he had to figure out were, could he win there? And that was part of all of this. Could he play for the owner that he had such problems before? And how would he feel leaving his teammates in Miami, who he had grown so close with? And he was able to work through all of that in the last week.
I'm glad you said that. I just want to do, if I could be indulged for a moment, to read a portion of what LeBron has. Again, it's dictated to Lee Jenkins, but these are LeBron's words in this letter that I'm going to just hold it up again, the big headline, I'm coming home, in Sports Illustrated. Before anyone ever cared where I would play basketball, I was a kid from Northeast Ohio. It's where I walked. It's where I ran. It's where I cried. It's where I bled. It holds a special place in my heart. People there have seen me grow up. I sometimes feel like I'm their son. Their passion can be overwhelming, but it drives me. I want to give them hope when I can. I want to inspire them when I can. My relationship with Northeast Ohio is bigger than basketball. I didn't realize that 4 years ago. I do now. And you know what, Rachel? You just mentioned that the hardest thing to leave Miami would be leaving his friends. He actually addressed that. He said, I went to Miami because of D. Wade, that's Dwayne Wade, and CB, Chris Bosh. We made sacrifices to keep UD. I love becoming a big bro to Rio. I believed we could do something magical if we came together, and that's exactly what we did. The hardest thing to leave is what I built with those guys. Rachel, does this mean a possible championship for Cleveland, and what does it mean for the Heat that he leaves behind?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's certainly LeBron's hope, right? I mean, above all, as much as he loves Ohio, and as much as he said, he grew up there and he bled there, there's no way he would be going if he didn't think he could win. And they have a very talented young core. They've sort of told him, hey, we can bring back some of your old teammates who you don't have anymore, who you really like. So that's part of the allure as well. They're still trying to make a trade for Kevin Love, another great player. So he definitely thinks that he can win in Ohio. Now, what does that mean for the Heat? Well, Chris Bosh is expected now, since LeBron is leaving, to very seriously consider and maybe even take an offer from the Houston Rockets. The Heat will try to keep him, but Chris Bosh is certainly listening to Houston. If he goes to Houston, that leaves Dwayne Wade, the only major player in Miami. They will try to recruit some other more minor players, but it certainly is going to be a huge change for Miami Heat fans. They're not going to be the powerhouse they have been used to being.
So indulge me for a minute more, if you will. I've been scanning through this article, this letter. I think he called it his essay. Yeah, I'm writing this essay because I want an opportunity to explain myself. He says, I'm not having a press conference or a party. It's time to get to work. When I left Cleveland, I was on a mission. I was seeking championships, and we won 2. But Miami already knew that feeling. Our city hasn't had that feeling in a long, long, long time. My goal is still to win as many titles as possible, no question. But what's most important for me is bringing 1 trophy back to Northeast Ohio. I always believed that I'd return to Cleveland and finish my career there. I just didn't know when. Martin Savage, if you're still on the line with me, can you hear any of the screaming from the streets yet?